Hiring the best candidate possible starts with attracting the right type of people. One of the things that gets me great candidates is the way I craft my job posts. And in this short video, you'll discover how to do it too. When you use a scorecard, and you start with that, what does success look like for this person, this role that's going to be in the business? What does that look like? So this is the position scorecard. So here's an example of it. There's a downloadable template below so that you can have this yourself. Take a look at the screen, and then we're going to look at some of the things on there. So on the position scorecard, there'll be the name of the person when they're hired, what's the position, who they're reporting to, and the purpose of the job. And those are all just really basic things. But here's the interesting thing. We now have section 2, which is desired results. Objective measurements of success. So how do you know if this person is being successful in this role? So this role, let's say again, customer support, there are certain things that this person has to do to be successful. Maybe they have to answer a certain number of tickets per hour. Maybe they have to have a customer satisfaction rate of above X%. There could be a bunch of other things. Maybe they have to escalate certain tickets within a certain amount of time. Whatever those things are that are measurable, and you want to make as much measurable as possible, then what are they? Because once you know that, now you know how to measure the success of this person and what to hire for. Because you might end up looking for not the right resume, but somebody has certain communication skills, etc. So this is going to vary by role. And as you can see here, we've got these levels of super green, yellow, and red. And the way that that works is that you will put in numbers. So let's say it is minutes to respond to a ticket. And super green is under 1 minute. In other words, they are rocking it at responding to every ticket under 1 minute. Green is 1 to 2 minutes. Yellow is 2 to 5 minutes. And red is anything more than 5 minutes. Again, I'm just picking numbers here. So now you've said that in this role, you've got a stoplight. And stoplight means you really want someone to be in the green and, the green zone, but they might be super green if they're awesome. But if they're in the yellow zone, well, that's not quite success in the role. So when you do this with all of the aspects that are measurables in the role, you now have a scorecard. And you can see that there's a column there that's called rating. And that rating column is when you're doing a review of this person, you can put in their rating. Are they super green, yellow, red? You can also use a scale, sometimes 1 through 5 scale on where they are in this. So with that, you now have an objective system of knowing if this person is successful. And this, as we're going to see as we go through this topic, is going to be useful also in crafting the job description, in the job posting. It is going to be useful for the hiring and the interviewing, etc. Then section 3 here, living our core values. These are just placeholder core values. You'll have your own. I've got a separate video on how to do that. But these are the core values for one of my companies, and it was excellence, enthusiasm, and teamwork. And once again, this scorecard of this person, whether they're being interviewed or whether they are being evaluated, is on the core values, because those are important. That's our social contract at the business. Is this person living those core values, or are they not really? Are they a bad fit? So once again, this is going to flow through to the job posting. It's going to flow through to everything in the interview process and then beyond. In section 4, skills and competencies. These are skills and competencies that this role needs to have, this person's role needs to have. And so you'll list a bunch of those. Again, there are other aspects of this scorecard below. This is just a screenshot here, so get the downloadable one below this video. But this gives you now some objective criteria for the role. You've taken a beat. This doesn't take long to do. You've taken a beat, and instead of just like slapping up a job description and just getting junky candidates through, you now really have crisped up what success looks like. So you have now complete clarity. And as I said, you use this to craft the job post, use this to develop interview questions. And I'm going to give you some templates, but you're going to use this scorecard to modify those templates. And then you're going to evaluate once this person is hired. Let's now look the next step, which is sourcing. So we took step 0 and we now know what we're looking for. So now we can source. So the best source of A players is existing A players, which is really interesting. If you have any A players in the organization, you want to see, do they know any other A players? Why? Because they like working with other A players. People who really want to perform well, want other high performers around them. They don't want the folks who are dragging the organization down. They want other high performers because it lets them perform at their best and they want to do better. So the first stop is asking your A players, do they know anyone else? And that is a little trick, right? Because normally you think, oh, well, I'm going to go out to the wide world. First, ask your A players. You can ask your B players. They might have a good referral, but they don't always know what an A player is. And if you got any C and D and F and beyond players, they will rarely have a good referral. And the interesting thing is that a C player is more interested in protecting their job and being able to continue to hide from accountability. So asking them, they might actually not give you A players because they know that an A player is going to expose them. So they may have worked for A players in the past and they didn't do so well under those A players as a manager, and they kind of moved on from the job, and they don't want to be in that situation again. That's why they're a C player. So you don't necessarily want to ask those people, or if those people are suggesting a candidate, just be a little circumspect and understand that they may be trying to protect their own job, and don't get too caught up in the fact that this person, it came from internal recommendation. Who is doing the internal recommendation? But the best source is A players that your A players have already worked with. Other overlooked sources of candidates, your email list. If your company has an email list and it's the right kind of email list for either customers, partners, things, that's one other place that you can advertise open positions. And it's kind of exciting when you're sending to your email list, hey, we're hiring, because it speaks well. It shows that your company is potentially being successful. So that's a good messaging to have there. Organic social, that's so your social media, you can publish there. You can call up partners and say, hey, I'm looking for this kind of person. Do you know anyone? Because your partners might have other companies like yours as their partners, so they might know people. And then former team members. If you've worked with former A players, go and reach out and say, do you know anybody? Because you want that A player network working for you. The next principle is an important mindset shift, and that is that job postings are advertisements. Now, you don't think of it as an advertisement, but it is an advertisement. You are advertising in the same way that you advertise to get customers. You're advertising to get team. So you have to think of this entire process as a sales funnel, or an advertising to marketing to sales funnel. And it's very similar. It's a complete analog when you are getting team members, because you're using the process to sift and screen for the best, in this case, team members, and in the sales context, the best customers, right? And you don't want to necessarily take every customer, because some customers are terrible customers. If you're in a services business, they're the kind that are a complete pain in your butt. If you are in a product business, they're the refunders. Those are the equivalent to the C and D and F players in terms of team members. So you're doing the same process, and you're using your process, as I often talk about in the sales and marketing context in other videos. You're using the process to get good fit people through, or good fit customers through. Here, we are going to look at this, and the ad, the job posting, is a job ad, and that's the first thing it needs to do. So the standard job posting is, here's the job requirements. Now, that advertisement is not doing its job, right? It's saying, we just need someone who kind of looks like this. But that's not really filtering people out, because someone can say, sure, I look like that. Why not? I'll spam a bunch of resumes. And if you want to get my 25 years of hiring knowledge condensed in 49 minutes of pure value, you can watch this video right here.